Between the episodes on Eisenholm. I started the day with a bit of arbory. Beginning with the kapok trees, I went on a small lumberjacking spree across a good chunk of the trees we had around the homestead, and planted a straight line of kapok from those seeds. With the mod to increase tree seed drops, I'm not all that concerned about losing out on a few leaf blocks just by bunching them all close together. After putting away the first haul of wood, I started to tackle the maple wall. And oh boy, was that something to tackle. The last of our iron axe was sacrificed to make a sizable dent in it, so we'll have to come back for the rest later on. With wood somewhat restocked, I finally added a little path offshoot directly to the masonry lodge, and while out and about pathing, I could hear a distinct lack of piglet squealing. And you know what that means. It's time to bring home the bacon. If anyone asks, there was never a Gen 2, and no pigs were harmed in the acquisition of all of this meat. Totally unrelated, but I refilled the troughs and let the Gen 3 pigs up out of the basement. On the topic of a successful harvest, enough of the flax was ready, so I began harvesting what I could, netting a substantial haul. I replanted the new collection of flax seeds in the other garden to keep the flax train running while the soil replenished. I'll have to look into hunting down some better soil, or at the very least some fertilizer at some point, I think. After a hard day's work in the fields, I decided to treat myself with some nice, hearty food. Red meat stew with parsnip and cabbage, I even made a couple batches with blueberries just to get some fruit back in my diet, and also a little bit of porridge for more variety. With the cellar stocked with the largest amount of food it's ever seen, some of which being sealed to last a good long while, it was time to get into the meat of the episode. I hopped on over to the workshop and started knocking out the ceiling to make room for the upper floor of our main chamber. During the middle of this ceiling endeavor, the second batch of steel was finished firing. No time to work on it now, though. There's rocks to knock. In due time, the upper floor was cleared. With the space prepped, I decided to take advantage of the influx of animal fat we'd acquired earlier, and it was finally time to bring our mechanical power down below. With a narrow shaft extending all the way to the ground floor, the first step toward having our health hammers within arm's reach was well underway. Because that brings us to today, where now that we've got the mechanical power all the way down to the ground floor here, we've got to start carving this out, bring down the health hammer, get some more sails up there, and a whole bunch of other fun shenanigans. So there's no time to waste. Let's go grab ourselves some sails. We've got a lot of linen now after we had that flax harvest, so let's, 57. We'll see. We'll see if that's enough. We'll probably end up needing more angled gears, so we should probably bring... Ooh, we got 8 fat left. Let's hope we don't need that many. Resin. We'll bring 8 resin with us just in case. So today is going to be a lot of progress on the workshop, continuing on from where we had left off last episode. Close the old doors there, keep out unwanted drifty boys. And for one of the last few times, we climb the ladder. Ooh. Okay, our rotors are all in place up here, so about time to start working on these boys. If I go from this block, the side of it, and I put dirt right there, I believe that is exactly where we want it. Okay. Now, I've gotten questions as to why I use packed dirt as opposed to regular dirt for, marking out a lot of things, specifically with the castle in particular. That was a mistake there. But for these and everything else, I'm just used to having something that's a little bit different looking, right? So packed dirt, it's different from regular dirt. so it's not an item that I'm going to get confused and think that it's supposed to be for a different purpose. I know that anytime I see there's packed dirt, that means it's marked out for, a very specific purpose. We all know how good I am at remembering certain things, almost as good as I am at keeping my inventory organized. Which, in all honesty, I'm quite surprised with how little disarray I've reintroduced after organizing all of our storage. That's an achievement. Okay, let's get ourselves some axles on here, shall we? Like so. Okay. I believe that is all of the rotors in place. It's a little difficult to see up into the night there, but we should have... That was just attached there. That normally should be down here. Everything on the floor here is going to have to move. Yeah. Let's just clear out as much as we can from our inventory here, just to make enough room. That is from our granary. Right, because we relocated that one up top here, so we've got an extra one. So that's good. That saves us having to make another one when we go back to reinstate the granary. We'll come back for a lot of these. Just trying to clear as much room as possible. And we'll drop off more things at the house as well, so we can fit as many rotors as humanly possible into our inventory. Not rotors, sails. As many sails in our inventory as humanly possible. Oh boy, are they in here? I heard drifters. Hello? You're somewhere above me. Let's just hope they don't have access to get in here. Let's just close those doors. We're at high rift activity. What was I saying? I got completely derailed by hearing drifters in the workshop. Sails. Windmill sails. Learned my lesson. I'm not breaking stuff on the ground with Mr. Moose around. Or Dog the Moose. Getting another argument like the knife incident. Let's see how far this gets us. I could do the math to see exactly how far it'll go, but that's not really going to matter much because we've got not enough. I can already tell that. We're going to need more. Okay, top layer is all set. Let's hop on down and doop, 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 doop. That's windmill number 5 hooked up. And do. We're getting there. We're getting there. We definitely don't have enough flax from that one haul to get this whole thing done. This is going to take another couple harvests, I think, minimum. That's okay. That's okay. Let's see what we can do with the rest of that flax down there. Just use it all to get as many sails as we can. We've got another couple stacks worth of flax coming anyway. Oh, jeez. Oh, coming out of nowhere. You'd think I wouldn't be startled by now. It was loud enough. I should have expected him right around the corner. Once you get a place all lit up and you think you're safe, that's when you start panicking, right? Right, buddy? You start panicking. You start panicking. Like that. That was actually kind of mean. Wow. I think I got a taste for blood. That can't be good. Anyway, gonna take my mind off that by just, harvesting the rest of these. Really have to put a proper gate back there. Slappy stick. Slappy stick. Okay, let's put as many of these together as we still can, and that is a total of 4 more sets of sails. Just gonna get us finished that one rotor that we started. And I think a single set of sails on another. Not terrible. Could be better, but not terrible. with a single set of sails there. We're not doing too bad. That's what, 4, 5, 6 complete windmills and a fifth of another. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. So, now we've got to take this whole shindig downstairs. But we're kind of going to need some room down there for it, don't you think? Not really any place for it to go quite yet. Let's get digging. Just going to clear out a little bit of headroom here. Make it ever so slightly more comfortable. And a lot of this wall is going to get pushed back anyway because our furnace array is going to be right in, well, inside of this wall right now. But here is where our Hellhammer setup is going to be. Just like we went over, it's felt like forever ago at this point. But hey, you know, you can't rush progress. Because when you do, that's how you get a zombie apocalypse. A lot of bad things come from rushing progress. Best to take it slow and enjoy the journey. So for this, at first, let's just start this off by evening out this wall. It'll make it a little bit easier because we're just going to use the quarry tools. Going to make quick work at digging this place out. Probably going to stick to the 4 high ceilings in here, just like in the entryway. Though that might change once the ceiling's in place properly. Open this room right on up. This is where a lot of the mechanical bits are going to be hidden away. Once we bust out a bit of this wall anyway. Yeah. We have just opened up a vulnerability, with that being dark there. So we've reintroduced spawnable areas. Whoops. So before we start moving the Hellhammer down and get things here in place, I don't think we're gonna have enough. Well, I left the fat up there. I think there's 7 left, 14 axles. How far do we have to come over here? So we're gonna need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13. We might just, maybe. We're probably going to need a bit more fat, I think, to be able to get enough axles. Definitely to get enough angled gears. So positioning, we might not be able to do exactly what we're hoping quite yet. We're getting close, though. Getting very, very close. So what's going to be eventually the mechanical room in the back here, that dark area behind me, that scary, spooky place, that's probably going to be where our whole Hellhammer setup down below in a much more convenient spot is going to go, once again, temporarily. There's always a bottleneck somewhere. It's a price you pay for innovation. Let's get the Hellhammer down here and get that all going. And for that, I think we can just pop it right about here. Yeah. There we go. Power's all going down the line there. We're going to remove everything that we've got up here. We'll bring the pulverizer down later. We don't necessarily need it right this second. Okay, pop that off of there. That coming over this way. One more. And these are just going to go, I guess, over here decoratively for the moment. And we're just going to take a couple of these lanterns. All of the lanterns, because we don't really need much safety up here anymore. We're not coming up here very often. Now that we're going to be moving all of our important stuff down below. This is going to be a lot of up and down for the next couple minutes here for me. Woo! So I'll see you when we got everything all relocated. And through the power of editing, voila! It is done! It is here! We've got a far more accessible little location here for smithing. Right near the entrance, so we can walk on in. No need to go up the big ladder anymore. That chest over there, that one there, that has all of the pulverizer pieces in it, so officially nothing is up top except for the windmills. And once we've got the resources, so after I go hunting at some point to get more fat, we can make more axles and more helve hammers and get ourselves 3, maybe 4 helve hammers set up right around here. Maybe with a second one when we've got more windmills, who knows. We'll see how effective one setup is with how many windmills we're going to have. It might be a little bit overpowered. I don't know if it's going to be faster than what we need, but we could try gearing it up, actually. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Why not? Why not? We've got enough windmills. We surely we can do this. We're gonna need more height. That is zooming something fierce. Now that is with a near gale, so who knows how it's gonna look once the wind slows down. It might go a lot slower, but at least for the moment, gearing it up seems to have given us a zoomin' boy right here. Look at him. Look at him, noom. He go zoom. He go noom. But most importantly, he go. Now I think if we were to try and gear it up once more, that might lower the torque too much. So when we have really super strong winds, we might have great speed, but it could very well just stop running entirely when we have, you know, like a light or a moderate breeze. And we want something that's going to be reliable. Even if it's not as fast as it could possibly be, at least this should, in theory, hopefully run pretty well almost all the time, as long as there's some kind of wind. So, I mean, you know, we can always experiment later on when we've got a full setup, but for the moment, I think that's, for one helve hammer, pretty darn fast, if I do say so myself. Let's just pop some of the more mechanical pieces over here, since this is kind of where we're going to need them. And let's move on to a bit more of the decorative aspects. Once again, these columns need to go up to the ceiling. So I'm going to pop over to the Mason Lodge, grab some more of our polished granite, and extend these bad boys up to the ceiling. Can you take them higher? To the ceiling where they will hold. Oh, then we'll arch the ceiling, made of rock and stone. Can you take them higher? Are we gonna need regular? Let's bring a little regular granite just in case. Of course. Pantograph. Alright, chisel's back over there in a box. I should grab that. Also, I got a slab. Oh, whew, it blocks my vision. Let's just... There we go. Oh. Spawned right in front of me. Just popped in from the ether. Just gonna close that door for safety. Okay. And let's just extend these boys on up. Actually gonna keep those as is and start them up kinda like so again. Yeah. There we go. Now the walkway is going to extend out to meet up with these columns, so that's why I've still got what was kind of the topper for them in place here. And I'll play around a little bit. Once we start getting those walkways in place, it is going to wrap around, be about 3 block wide, all the way around, connected to the columns. And initially, I had thought to wrap it all the way around over the top of the furnace here, but I think the walkways might just stop. And then the furnace is going to be a floor-to-ceiling, big old feature on the back wall. Not sure exactly what it's going to look like yet. But if it takes up the whole wall, it's going to be grand. It's going to be nice. Kind of roundish, maybe? I don't know. Speaking of the actual furnace design there, that does bring me to a bit of a crossroads. Because you see, with the current version of chisel tools that I've got, we have the Jonas paintbrush, which is what I've talked about in earlier episodes, that we can use with a steel paintbrush to make the Jonas paintbrush here, which is going to let us make light blocks out of a lot of things, and it's got a pretty high durability. We just use dyes to basically make the blocks. And that gray dye is going to make a nice cyan glow, the same as a temporal gear. However, with the updated version of Chisel Tools that's been updated for 1.20, which is still compatible in 1.19, it's the version we're actually using on the Rusty Gears server, that's got the palettes. And the palettes offer a few new textures that otherwise we wouldn't have access to, even with Chisel Tools currently. One of which is a very particular texture. Embers. So the way that coal looks when you've lit it up, it turns into an ember block, and that is going to look very nice for a big, giant forge. Since, you know, with the current mods, we can't really move lava with a bucket. And I'm starving to death. As I was saying, even if we could move lava, that's a very dangerous thing to have nearby, since one little slip up and suddenly you have Bernie Bone Melty Juice everywhere. Nobody wants Bernie Bone Melty Juice everywhere. It burn and bony melt. Not fun. Not the recommended settings. Definitely not safe for Seraph consumption. But an ember block is entirely harmless. It's decorative. I think it gives off a light level of 4, which is negligible in the grand scheme of things. We're going to have a bunch of other much brighter lights around it. But I think whatever the design for the furnace ends up being, I'll have it with the ember block eventually in mind. Start it with the Jonas paintbrush in mind, along with a lot of the other decorative aspects here. And then, eventually, probably when we update to 1.20, that's when we'll switch over to the newer version of Chisel Tools, have the palettes, no longer, unfortunately, be able to craft a Jonas paintbrush, but there will be Jonas palettes, which are just a different, well, I guess if they don't use steel, they're a slightly less expensive version in all technicality. They just have a far lower durability. Wait, no, what am I talking about? They're not less expensive. It takes 8 lanterns per pallet. That's very expensive. I'm gonna get all the lighting done with the Jonas paintbrush first. It's cheaper, and yeah. This is all for decoration. I don't really mind that it's giving light blocks which help prevent spawns. I'm doing this for decor. Because just like in Final Fantasy XIV, you know, the endgame is Final Fashion 14. We're all about the aesthetics here. And speaking of aesthetics, this ceiling is going to be carved in a little bit and replaced with granite, as are the walls. There's going to be a little bit of an arch design. Let's just hop on down. So there's going to be an arch kind of going up about 2 blocks and back down. Not quite a straight line. It's going to be slightly rounded, but definitely to look kind of like a pointed arch. And then the beginnings of it starting again on this side, maybe, or I might just bring it down, have a slight taper into the walls. The edges I haven't quite decided, but I know for the center it's going to raise up and look, well, hopefully quite nice. So, let's get a little bit of that carved out and start getting that ceiling looking archy. But not Jughead. It's not going to look Jughead. That's my role. Congratulations if you get that reference. You're old like me. Oh, it's not that old. Hasn't Archie had a new version? No, that was when I was a teenager. Okay. Archie's Weird Mysteries is not a new show. There was Riverdale. Yeah, Riverdale's a decade old. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where does the time go? So while I'm carving out this ceiling, why don't we do this in a method that makes the most sense? Once more unto the time-lapse, my friends. Can you take me higher? Got a rock in my 2 hands. Yeah, it's enough of that. Let's just carve out this ceiling. And there we go. We've got ourselves a little bit of an arch there. It's the beginnings of the pattern that is going to cover our entire little ceiling here. Now, the main thing with this ceiling is I'm thinking of having some crisscross action going on with it. So I'm thinking of having 6x7 sections, probably with a 6x6 up here, where it's going to create kind of like an arched box. And I apologize in advance to any pixel artists. You've probably already noticed there are what are known in the industry as jaggies. And that's when a curve with pixels doesn't really go on a very smooth trajectory. You can see those little extra bits back there where it's switching between, you know, gaps of 2, gaps of 1. It looks just a little bit uneven. But that's just the nature of what this is, which is actually just the 2 top sides of a slightly rounded pentagon. Wanted to have a little bit of a pointed top, but rounded to look like a nice arch. I think it's good while not being a round arch. It's just kind of a rounded triangle almost. Now in between the columns, let's try something and just see how it looks. Pop an old ladder up this way. And let's just get a 1, a 2, a 3. We're going to copy one of these blocks. Yeah. Now we're going to rotate this on... Ooh, there we go. Like so. And then we're just gonna shove this up into the ceiling ever so slightly. Yeah. About like that. We're just gonna paste that over to these two. And this one, I'm just gonna push in a little bit more. And for good measure, replace these. A little bit of granite as our peridotite rocks fall out. Okay, okay. Not quite as archy as I'm hoping for. I think that's going to require a little bit more testing. We'll get it looking right one day. But in any case, let's try getting one of those sections in place, the 6x7s that I mentioned. After I just did this all, how much room do I have? I've got a full row of inventory space. Alright, I should probably put this flax in such a way, but that'd be too easy. So I think the different sections are going to be this one here, basically from the wall up until this column, and then from here until this column, and then this last section here, that is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 section long. Whoop, little bit there. And that one is okay. We might do something different with it, just because that's going to go into our large wall with the furnace. So that'll be more of a concern for when we're decorating this back wall here a bit. That means right here. Let's start with this one and just kind of get this wall all done and dusted. So over here, we're gonna just take a little bit of that, rotate it. Gonna need to remove that, bring in that one there. Ah, I see. I'm gonna need a bit more granite. Working with 3D shapes makes the brain meat go burr. Bring a couple stacks just in case. Alright, back to it here. So, let's cut out these guys here. These guys here. Those ones. Who? How dare you, good sir? I shun you. Okay, now for the interesting part here. We're gonna have to make this a nice, seamless corner, and for that, we're going to use the Add Shape tool. After a quick little blueberry snack there. So with this one, we're just gonna take that guy here, add that to there, add that to there. That one, add that to there, add that to there. No, this one we're gonna have to add that to there and then rotate. Yeah. And then do all of the little things for every piece and hope that it maybe kind of fixes the lighting. It probably won't fix it for everything. There's only so much you can do when you get into a complex shape like that. I think we've hit about as good as we can do. Yeah. Then that is what we're left with, and yeah, there's shadows, but that's a little unavoidable sometimes. And then this part here is going to have some kind of arch between the columns, probably a larger version of whatever we end up with this one looking like. And so with here, we're just going to have to, not actually need to replace much there. Let's just... With this, luckily, since we're changing the shapes around on them, we could just use any of these little blocks. And we are going to... So we'll just kind of copy these all around. There we go. And we're just gonna break it all down. And that is what we're left with. Kind of a slightly domed, kind of elongated pyramid. I wonder, if we just extend out that layer there instead of using what's up top, that might look a little bit better. Let's give it a try. Yeah, let's get these letters out of the way. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit nicer. Just a bit less of the lighting issues visible. It's a little mesmerizing, honestly. Kind of sucks you in with the depth. So the plan's going to be to do that, repeated in the middle over here, and then over yonder, slightly more perfectly squared version or some such, as I said, which might be changed depending on what our little steel furnace decorative wall is going to look like. Now, what about the wings, you might be asking? And by the wings, I mean the spot over top of the walkways in yonder corners there. Well, I don't know. I've been playing with a couple different designs, but I haven't found something that I'm happy with yet. So what I might do is just little designs, smaller versions of what we've got going on right up there behind me. Kind of a scaled down version, probably between each of the columns. So that'd be kind of like a little 3x3 section up in there. That's not too bad. That could work, especially if we get those arches between them looking proper. Yeah, that's right, I'm looking at you. Ugh. Might just need to make them smoother. Time will tell. Testing will tell. That's the beauty of art. Multiple iterations until something looks beautiful. Why do I hear a bear? Is there a bear in there? I've disturbed a party up top. I wonder if this is open enough. I'm hearing the bear up on the top of the mountain? Hello? Barry White? Barry the Platypus? Oh, I hear him. Yeah, let's go out at night to hunt a bear. That's a smart idea. Keep the high ground. Scan the horizon for any signs of movement. Those are rocks. I'm hearing them over here. Wait a minute. Is this... No way. This is the fire pit from episode 1. Wow. Oh, that's a throwback. Well, I'm just going to let that stay here, but still kind of looking for that bear. Could always use a little bit more fat in our diet, and by diet, I mean in our workshop for axles and such. I'm not seeing him anywhere, though. Well, who knows? You know what, he's good enough at hide and seek. He can live. Anyway, with the bear in hiding, I think the rest of this detail along here, it's just going to be a repetition of what I just did. So, I'll probably take care of that between the episodes. So, let's do something a little bit different. Still very much working with rocks and stone and everything. Let's head back on over into this room here. Now, we may be limited in getting our Helvhammer in place to where we want it based on, well, materials for all the mechanical bits. But I do know that right around here, is where we're going to want a lot of our forges. Let's get a couple little bits of stuff out of our inventory. Let's widen this wall a little bit. Pop those out. Pop those out. We're just gonna pop those back in place to have ourselves a 2-wide door. 2 blocks high? I think I might extend this wall up, honestly. Yeah. I do like that. Yeah, just extend that up to the ceiling, which will affect these sections of decorative ceiling, but that's fine. Because the walkways that we're going to have are probably going to end with this as the corner. So it'll kind of just come to meet the wall there. So these will be corner pieces. Very likely, just going up. Yeah. Keep this area a little bit more open. Like it. I like it a lot. Let's take a couple of these bits here. We can always add the sandstone in after. But just taking some of our chiseled pieces, and we're just going to copy our stairs. Place them in. Ooh, rotate. There we go. We'll add our yellow stripe there for caution after. But this is basically what it's going to look like. We'll just have our little staircase come on down. And then, of course, the floor in here. Very much going to be like the rest of this place. With our polished granite. Okay, how much durability do we have left? 228 on the steel pickaxe. We've almost burned through a whole steel pickaxe. Oh boy. The room for the forges here, I'm thinking we're gonna have that be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is gonna be a wall. And then we're gonna put this room, so this will be the wall. Then the room itself will be 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks deep. 2, 3, 4, and then this will be the back wall. And just like that, we have it mostly carved out. A little bit of cleanup. Okay, so we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm actually gonna want 1 block gap here. Push it back just so it's not immediately pressed up against this door. Just to make it look a little nicer. That will be the door there. Into a little room here with 4 forges on either side. You think 8 forges will be enough? I think that might be enough for us to mentally keep tabs on. Ooh, actually. Hold up, hold the phone even. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this wall 4. Yeah, then this wall can be storage, maybe. 3, 4, if we go back 1 more layer. Sorry, pickaxe, I didn't mean to do this to you. I was hoping we'd get this all mostly done with the quarry tools. It's okay, at least we have a batch of steel to make another. Yeah, okay. Let's just do a little one of these. A little one of these. Is that gonna be where the wall is? Or is that gonna be behind it? I think that's behind it. Yeah, it looks about right. Pop that down there, turn that into a thing. Add a, whoops. Add a one of those. Do a shaper. Rotator. I like potatoes. And then realize that these walls are also going to need to be
These, so it shows a little bit of granite. Alright. Okay, just to get a little bit of an idea here. So, gonna have our wall go here, and actually, you know what, let's just... Yeah. There we go, there we go. So we're gonna have our walls like so. And then we head on in here. We're gonna have 4 forges there, 4 forges there. Okay, let's get some corners going. Corners, corner, and this one, the stripe corner. Just kind of pop those in there. Excellent. Okay. Maybe, you know what? This is okay. There we go. I'll add these stripes in later on. But this is kind of the general shape of the room here. So, as we come into our smithing area, we're going to have our half hammers and all of our mechanical stuff over here. And then right on in here, we'll have a bit of a room. Door, come in, 4 forges here. Some sort of decorative thing or some such in the corner. We probably won't really see it, so I might be able to just fill that in. And then 4 more forges here. A little bit of storage chests or trunks here. Possibly decorative ones. So a lot of our coal and the other little extra bits we're going to need just for getting all our ingots and all that. We're good to go. And then beyond, in here is going to be another doorway. Maybe just a single wide door. That's going to lead into a bit of a storage room where we can stack up ingots and all sorts of other goodies. Because who doesn't love big old piles of ingots stacked to the ceiling? Makes you feel alive. Makes you feel accomplished. You get to see all of your hard work on display, even though they'd be far more, you know, compact in a chest. We gotta show off. If we ever get to the point where we have enough ingots around just to show them off. I'm sure once the Hellhammer's going, we'll be in business. We can have different categories in there: copper area, bronze, iron, steel, all of the different fun stuff. But on the other hand, this side here, we're gonna need to bust out a door for our smelting area. Boop, boop. Yeah. I suppose actually we can. There we go. There we go. Rotate those properly. Should I? I could probably do that, yeah. Just gonna save what precious little durability there is left on that steel pickaxe. There we go. Get ourselves the doorway there. That... oh, right. Yeah. Okay. We'll work on this a little bit more as we go, but this is kind of just getting some of the shapes and ideas in place. As for the smelting room, that's still a work in progress on design. The smithing area definitely has taken precedent. The smelting area is also going to be the home of where the beehive kiln is, as well as a charcoal tower permanent installation kind of deal. Because I found out that the kiln doors, well, let's just say those are going to work. To have a little permanent fixture for charcoal burning so you can come in and out. Not while it's cooking. Don't do it while it's cooking. That's unsafe. Then it would probably also ignite everything inside. You need a reduction burn atmosphere in there. But in any case, this room will be one of the later projects in the workshop, just because I'm going to wait until I've got some more designs solid, and in 120, we will actually build the smelting area. And also because we won't need a separate indoor smelting area until 1.20, because right now we can still just pour molds out in the rain and, you know, it don't make no never mind to us. But soon, very soon, 1.20 will take from us our ability... Sorry, I just got distracted by that cracked brick back there. But anyway, it'll take away our ability Nope, I lost it. To do ingot molds in the rain, that's what I was thinking, yeah. Alright, let's clear out a whole bunch of this inventory, because we have a lot of rock. Just a lot of rock. We've got a good bit of our designs in place, or at least, you know, the ideas of them shown off. But we've been inside for so long, and look at the sun. Ow. Okay, maybe don't look directly into the sun. There we go. Now that I've cleared up my inventory a little bit, let's get all the materials we're going to need to put our decorative furnaces in place. So we've got the one already. We're going to need more of these granite dry stones. So we are going to need, out of these, 24. We're going to need a bit more of these granite ashlar blocks. We've got 5. We're going to need 8. Pop the excess over there. Also going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the regular granite rock. Okay, we got not nearly enough basalt. We're going to need to go grab some basalt. And we have enough shale dry stone, even without having to go grab any. I thought we were going to have to quarry some of this, but no, we just need 8 of those guys. So down to the lava hole to go grab a little bit of basalt. We're also going to need cobblestone. I have to make the forges. That's okay. That's okay. Let's just do it one step at a time. One step at a time. I'm trying to do 20 steps all at once, and it's that ain't gonna be good for nobody. We gotta do one step at a time. Back down to the dange. There's been olivine here the whole time. That would have been useful to remember. I think somebody in the comments mentioned that there was olivine down here. I apologize for my forgetfulness. Oh man. Oh, there's a lot of olivine down here. Well, that would have been nice to remember. But it'll be useful later on if I do need it again. Oh boy, okay. Let's just... whoop. Let's focus on the good here. Alright, let's turn this into some polished. And that is all we're... No, we need 24 of these. And there we go. Perfect. Now we have everything we're going to need. Let me out. Let me out. Okay, now let's get out of here before the calm rift activity decides to not be so calm. I gotta do something about this one day. I gotta make this safer. Okay. Let's make ourselves 7 more forges. I'm sure we've got enough cobblestone material. And since it's been a while, let's just refresh ourselves here. So if we were to make cobblestone, we can make ourselves a forge with literally just 7. 7 times 7, we just need 49 cobblestone. That can't be that bad, right? Let's see, do we have any types of cobblestone that we don't necessarily need? We do have 64 shale cobblestone. Can we mix and match? No, we cannot. There we go. 7 forges. So let's mosey on back over and get those forges in place. I'm not too worried about the back walls behind the forges, because we're not really going to be able to see them. Okay. So, let's take this forge that we have here. Give ourselves a nice solid 8 of them. And I believe with those and a chisel, we can make decorative forges. And with these decorative forges, we're just going to place them like so. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do some of these in place. So we'll do these in place here. But the actual forges themselves, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because for decorative forges, they have to be rotated in the exact direction you're going to be using them. So we're going to have to make sure they're in the right orientation before we apply them to our furnaces. But what are they going to look like, you ask? What's with this dry stone? Well, let me show you. Let's pop our little lantern down there. Get the old hammer in the offhand. Turn these bad boys into chiseled blocks. Hehe. Might as well do these all at the same time. So for these ones, we're going to need to add a basalt, a shale dry stone, and a granite rock. And then what we can do is, from our portfolio here, I have forges. It comes in 3 different pieces. We got forge bottom, which of course is what these are. And we'll do paste shape. And I know it ain't much to look at right now, but once we've got the hoods on over top, it's going to be quite nice. So now, we're just going to do a paste shape and materials. There we go. There is a little gap there, so we're probably going to want something in those corners. That'll be a later problem. We'll be able to reach if we can see the gap. And so if we just break these apart. So the original one there that I did not want to stack with ones that I used paste shape and materials. So that's something to keep in mind if you're a little tight on inventory space. But regardless, they're all going to look the same. Once they're in there, like so. Now this kind of looks a little silly. Let's get the tops in place. These top ones, quite easy. Just going to add the basalt in there. The middle ones, we're going to first add a granite ashlar block. And then the basalt. And this one is going to be forge middle. Doop. Hey, it's starting to come together. And this one, you guessed it, forge top. There we go. Let's grab ourselves our lantern here just to get a little bit of light on these. We have got ourselves 8 decorative forges complete with decorative hoods that are not functional at all. But these forges are 100% functional. And I've got the interior there chiseled down to the same level as the inside of a regular forge, or at least within a voxel of it. So we'll still be able to see our ingots in there and see the charcoal that we stack up inside. Now unfortunately the little grates in the bottom here will not actually show as like heated up or glowing or anything while we're using the forge. But we can always pretend. Really more of an air intake anyway. I did forget I'm going to need a little bit more polished basalt just to continue these pipes so I can connect them all in and make it look like it's funneling all of the smoke out into probably this corner, just into the wall, or maybe they all meet in the corner there and go up into the ceiling, who knows? Ooh. Just a big smokestack right there? Yeah, that could look good. So with our decorative forges all in place here, and just with a little bit more connective decor needed for them, our mechanical bits all brought down to the ground floor, and the beginnings of a decorative ceiling, well, partially in place. I think this is a pretty good spot to call the episode. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. And a special shout out to all of our channel members. You're all the greatest. Thank you so much for your support. I think next episode, after a little bit of doing some decor bits and a little bit of detail that I missed here between the episodes, I think we might head on outside to enjoy the summer and maybe do a little bit of work on the castle. Only time will tell. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Pop the old ingots into the forges. That's right. See, they function. It's beautiful. Ah, now it's lit up. Dang right, it's lit. Fam.